It's a good thing that we live in a time like now with advanced medical practices and care, because back in the day, the methods doctors used to treat illnesses were very questionable and unsafe. From urine mouthwash to maggot therapy, let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have the Lice Cure. Back in the early 20th century, if you got a bad case of head lice, you'd be going around smelling like a gas station for weeks. Why? Well, the cure for head lice was to be doused with gasoline. Turns out this actually worked, although it was pretty dangerous. If you walked by an open flame, you run the risk of catching on fire and having your whole head go up in flames. I mean, hey, that would work too to get rid of lice. But yeah, thank gosh that we invented medicated shampoo that kills those pests. I doubt anyone would want to soak their head in gasoline. In our 9th spot, we have the heroin cure. In the mid-1800s, heroin was actually used to cure a number of ailments, including headaches. Yeah, that hardcore seems a little intense for a headache, am I right? Well, it's not like they had Advil back then. So doctors would actually administer this to patients. It was available for many years in over-the-counter kits. It was used as casually as ibuprofen today. They thought it was a better alternative to morphine, which was used during the Civil War, which a number of people got addicted to. But in the end, a number of people got addicted to this drug as well. And then it was found out how dangerous it was. But by then, hundreds of thousands of Americans were already hooked on it. In our 8th spot, we have the Animal Bile. Back in the day, a number of animals were used to treat different ailments in China. In particular, animal bile was very popular. So they would use elephant bile to treat bad breath. I don't know about you, but I would rather my breath smell stale than like elephant bile. Whatever that smells like can't be pleasant. But yeah, Chinese physicians and pharmacists would take the elephant bile, dilute it in water, and then give it to people to drink. Think that was bad? Wait until you see what they did to python bile. The bile was used to treat genital ulcers, so it would be used as a topical ointment and rubbed on the affected area down there. I just want to know whose job it was to catch the snakes, you know? Coming in at number 7, we have the urine mouthwash. I'm sorry, if you're eating or drinking right now, you're about to lose your appetite. So back in ancient Rome, Roman physicians believed that urine could be used as a teeth whitener. Bonus part was that it was free. So the Romans were actually brushing their teeth with urine. What's worse is that some people collected the urine from public urinals. What's worse than using pee to brush your teeth? Using someone else's pee to brush your teeth. It was apparently the ammonia in our pee that was said to remove the stains from their teeth. Talk about bad morning breath though. But then that's when you use the elephant bile. See, it's all coming together now. Coming in at number 6, we have arsenic. Nowadays, we know that arsenic is a deadly poison. Well, back in the day, people would actually use arsenic to treat fevers and headaches. In the end, people would die from arsenic poisoning instead of actually being cured. Swallowing high levels of arsenic can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, muscle weakness and cramping, skin rashes, and other problems. Continual exposure or exposure to it in a high amount can kill ya. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with mercury. Mercury was another chemical that was used back in the day in treatments. Ancient Persians and Greeks used mercury as an ointment, whereas in ancient China, mercury pills were given to people thinking it would increase their lifespan and vitality. One of the famous cases would be with China's emperor Qin Shi Huang. He had the desire to live forever, so he set out to find a life elixir that would give him immortality. In the end, he was given mercury pills. They were said to be life-prolonging, and so he took one every day. But by doing so, he got poisoned by the mercury, and it drove him insane, and then he died. Others who used mercury died from liver or kidney damage from the mercury poison. Coming in at number 4, we have maggot therapy. If you all are afraid of creepy crawlies, then this next point will make you squirm. In the American Civil War, doctors would use maggot therapy to disinfect injured soldiers' wounds. In fact, this procedure dates back as far as the Old Testament. It was mentioned in the book of Job. Now, why maggots? Well, they can dissolve up to 25 micrograms of infected tissue in under 24 hours. They also only attack the dead flesh and leave the healthy flesh alone. And in 2004, it was actually approved by the FDA. but the maggots are single use and have to be stored in sterile conditions and then disposed of after as biohazardous waste. Moving on to number 3, we have bee venom therapy. So back in the day when ancient Greeks were suffering from arthritis or other joint pains / problems, they would resolve this by getting bees to sting them in their problem areas. This was because the bee venom contains a protein called melittin, which has anti-inflammatory properties. But obviously this was risky because 1, it causes skin irritation, and 2, a lot of people are allergic to bee stings, and so they would go into anaphylactic shock. Fun fact, some people still use bee venom therapy today, but it is not approved by the FDA. It's way too risky, they say. Coming in at number 2, we have the tapeworms. If you didn't lose your appetite yet, this one will surely get to you. During Victorian times, people came up with drastic ways to lose weight. One of them involved tapeworms. Basically, a person would eat a tapeworm egg and then it would hatch and grow inside of the person's intestines. So whatever you ate, the tapeworm would also eat. This would then allow them to lose weight without going on a diet and eat whatever they want. And it's as disgusting as it is dangerous. A number of people have died from this practice. The tapeworm can lead to blocked bile ducts, respiratory failure, and dementia, among other things. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the tobacco smoke enema. People back in the day were wilded. Like, they came up with the most bizarre medical practice, and then people willingly hopped on the trend. Like, yeah, this will for sure work. Let's take the tobacco smoke enema, for example. In the late 1700s, people were like, tobacco, what if we used it as an enema? And then just, blow the smoke up our arse. Apparently, someone fell into a river and almost drowned. That was until they used a smoke enema to warm up the victim, but also stimulate their respiration. So they were doing CPR from down below. From there, smoke enema kits were actually left near rivers in case this happened to others. After that, it became a fad, and soon it was said to cure everything from headaches to cramps to even typhoid and cholera. Little did they know the negative effects that tobacco has on the body. In the early 1800s, when they saw how damaging it was to the body, they stopped using this. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these medical practices you thought was the most disgusting. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video, top 10 disturbing paintings that have more to them than meets the eye. I actually really like that video, so you guys should check that out. Callista commented, there's a crow absolutely losing its mind in a tree right now. This is my comment for the video. Thanks for listening. Well, thanks for commenting. I hope that crow shut up or flew away, or maybe it's a bad omen and it's trying to tell you something. I'm just kidding, not trying to scare you. Vlad Impaler commented, Lindsay is so jolly, she can put a smile on a cow's face. If you guys didn't know, cows are my favorite animal. I have met several cows and I will say they do smile. They do. You pet them and then they're like I tell everyone, they're like big milk dogs. That's what I like to call them. Fluffy milk dogs. Like, you pet them and they start smiling and their tail goes like a dog. They're just giant dogs, okay? And Tai Long commented, can I get a shout out? And I'll say yes. Here's your shout out. I was feeling generous, so there you go. All right, guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Bye. Others would die. No, others. Is it sterile or sterile? I've heard both. Sterile conditions, sterile. I don't know. The haters will tell me. The tapeworm can lead to